Good evening everyone. Welcome to tonight's episode of Interview an FPL Manager. Our guest tonight is Fly, a popular FPL pundit on Twitter with close on 8,000 followers. A simple comment he once made on Twitter contributed to getting me started down the FPL pundit road. Thank you Fly and welcome to the show. Hi Mark. Thanks for inviting me to feature in your series of interviews. I've really enjoyed the ones you've done to date. Let's start off with some background Fly. Where are you from, and where do you live right now? Well, I'm originally from the West Midlands but moved away when I was 16 to go traveling and see the world. I rarely go back unless it is for the football, to be honest. I currently live just north of Watford, and this is the longest I have lived in one place since leaving home, just over 2 years now. What are your interests aside from FPL? Aside from FPL, my interests are many and varied. I am a family man, which takes up a lot of my time, but I also mix my business with pleasure as a full-time coach. Congratulations on the recent birth of your daughter Fly. My sporting career was cut short by injury, but I still enjoy getting out and about in the countryside when commitments allow. I love most sports, except racket sports which bore me senseless, both playing and watching. How long have you been playing FPL? My interest in fantasy football began from the very early days of the Premier League when the Times and the Telegraph newspapers ran competitions. I used to also enter the Sun Dream Team, but that was more of a fire and forget format as your team was locked in for the season. When the Premier League launched what we know and love as FPL in 2006, I was in on the ground floor. As the supporter of a club who have only graced the Premier League twice and not for long at that, FPL gives me a reason to have an interest in top-flight football. What has been your best season in FPL? I've subsequently played every season, with my most successful year to date coming in 2009 10th. I was in the top 40 overall going into the final week of the season. I captained Rooney, who didn't score against Stoke, whereas the popular captain choice was Drogba, who bagged 3 against Wigan. My final position was 676th. That must have been disappointing, but it was a superb effort nonetheless. How is it going this season? This season, I've suffered the same kind of start as many and am currently lurking just outside the top 300k. I'm enjoying the chase though, and have not yet revised my target of a top 5k finish. That will be difficult though. When did you decide on doing a blog for FPL and making FPL Twitter focus? I didn't originally dedicate my Twitter account to FPL, but when Fly Jr. was born 3 years ago he rarely slept. My escape in those sleepless times was my FPL team, and gradually it snowballed to the point where I rebranded my account. Regular readers will know I probably have an 80-20 ratio of FPL to non-FPL tweets. I only started my blog this season, having previously been given my break writing for the chief at FPL Hints. I then contributed for at FPL Events, then at FPL Updates before signing up with at Fantasy Footy Fix. Unfortunately, my services weren't required this year with the Fix team, so I kept myself taking over with my own blog. Do you have any particular plan for the future regarding the blog? To be honest, there's no plan. I just write what I like, when I like. I have been surprised at the popularity though, nearly 18,000 visits for just 8 posts to date. Those posts include Mrs. Fly's Casual Manager Challenge, an old favorite from my FPL Hints days called Flyby, and recently my most successful blog to date, on player identification for game weeks 9 to 12, which has received 5,000 hits already. That's great going Fly, well done. We're running out of time, but, before we go, is there anything else you would like to add? With the arrival of another addition to the Fly household last week, I don't see any let-up in my FPL activity. It's a great form of escapism and a great way to interact with some top people on Twitter. And Liverpool fans. Thank you once again for agreeing to participate in the series Fly. Cheers, and may your arrows be forever green. And may you always finish one position lower than me. That's it for tonight, folks. Please remember to check out Fly's blog at fplfly.blogspot.co.uk and follow him on Twitter at fplfly. Links will be in the description below. Please give this video a thumbs up and click the subscribe button to be updated with future videos.